Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks, just off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm Sworn Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Hoare.
Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Nooga Radio. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Sam Jordan's Nooga Radio, 92.7 Sports. Now.
Well, it is Monday, and with Monday, start of a new week, we're glad to have you along, tuning in wherever you may be, whether it's on Facebook Live, YouTube, or on NoogaRadio.com, or of course, our regular terrestrial locations at 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. Good evening to you. Glad to have you along wherever you may be here in the Tennessee Valley or around the world. It is Sports Talk with Sam Jordan, and we found out here a little while ago, as you may have heard during the News 12 Now portion of the sports, Ryan Howard named as the Gatorade Player of the Year for girls basketball here in Tennessee. Right out of Bradley Central, right up the road there in Cleveland. Congratulations to Ryan. She is headed to Kentucky to continue her basketball career. And she is also the TSSAA's Class AAA Miss Basketball Award winner 2 weeks ago. So she's having to add to that trophy case that she probably got some uncle or maybe her dad or someone in the family that's got to be a good carpenter. Maybe you got a good friend of the family that can help get that built. So congratulations to Ryan in getting that accomplishment. 6'2" young lady, and very talented at that, getting the Miss Basketball Award 2 weeks ago, and now the Gatorade Player of the Year. They take in consideration athletics part, of course, the academics, and also character. And she is a very high standing in that. She also mentors inner city kids and volunteers with the Cleveland area Special Olympics, and she's got a 3.62 grade point average, and she's now a finalist for the Gatorade National Player of the Year Award. So a lot of good athletes back it up with their schoolwork as well. So that's always good to see as well. So congratulations. We hope the best for Miss Howard in getting that national award of Player of the Year. So that's all coming before you know it. Well, NASCAR was underway in action yesterday. And of course, we're your NASCAR racing station. And with that, let's give you a little bit of an update here. Let's check in with the world of racing from MRN.
Will Kyle Larson's son Owen be a race car driver?
I don't know. I mean, he's 3 years old, so it's really hard to tell what any 3-year-old's going to be up to.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is Ned Jarrett's World of Racing.
The Starlight Lounge presents an evening with the Progressive Box.
Oh, what a great audience. Let's dim the lights for this next one. Nope, too much. There it is. Got to get things just right. Like Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay, and we help you find coverage options that fit your budget. And now, the mood is right. Wait, the lights are back on again. Trudy, can you? And now it's completely dark.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
The Country 500 Music Festival is back at Daytona International Speedway. How you like me? With Toby Keith, Chris Stapleton, Dirk Bentley, Billy Currington, and so much more. Country 500 Memorial Day weekend, May 25th, 26th, and 27th. For tickets and information, visit country500.com. Sponsored in part by Budweiser.
Kyle Larson's 3-year-old son, Owen, is always at the racetrack. You can see the youngster on television jumping in mud puddles or pretending to drive dad's car. Over the weekend, we asked Kyle if he thinks his son has any interest in following in his tire tracks.
I don't know. I mean, he's 3 years old, so it's really hard to tell what any 3-year-old's going to be up to. But I mean, I think obviously with my background, but then Caitlin's side, her family's full racing as well. So he'll at least be around it his whole life and have the opportunity to try racing. Obviously, I don't know if he'll be good at it or enjoy it, but he'll definitely get the opportunity to try it.
I'm Susie Armstrong, and this is The World of Racing on the Motor Racing Network.
Thank you very much, Susie. And with that, we try to keep you updated with all the latest racing news going on. A lot of different things going on. They're going to be at Martinsville this coming weekend with the STP 500. And so the teams are coming from out west and coming back to Virginia. Martinsville will be a fun track, one of the older tracks in racing. One of those individual drivers that may or may not be making that track across the ways is Jeffrey Earnhardt. Parted ways with Starcom Racing, which has the 00 car. And looks like Landon Castle will be behind that wheel when they make that trip to Martinsville and Texas. So Jeffrey looking for another ride. He's the grandson of Dale Earnhardt Sr. and, of course, nephew to Dale Earnhardt Jr. So looking for a new ride. It's sometimes, what have you done for me lately type of thing going on. All right, a lot more interesting things going on in the world of racing, so let's find out with NASCAR today.
Truex gets back to piling up the points.
You never know in this sport. Things change so fast, and you have the off season. You never know if you're going to lose your mojo or whatever.
I'm Woody Kane. The story next on NASCAR Today.
Howdy, folks. It's me, Colonel Sanders. My KFC $20 fill-up includes a whole bucket of delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 sides of mashed potatoes and gravy, coleslaw, and 4 flaky biscuits for just $20. It'll feed 4 people. And it comes with a free bucket. And every time you use that bucket, you'll be reminded of how delicious that meal was. Now that's value. KFC, it's finger-licking good. At participating KFCs for a limited time. Prices may vary. Tax extra. Extra charge for breast piece and side item substitution may apply. Offer includes 8-piece chicken, 3 large sides, 4 biscuits.
This tax season, AutoZone has everything your car needs. And now those parts and supplies come with more savings when you sign up for the AutoZone Rewards program. You'll earn a $20 reward every time you spend $20 or more 5 times in 1 year. One more way to get more done. Protect your engine from wear while protecting your wallet with great deals on oil change supplies from AutoZone. Visit any of our 5,000 locations nationwide and let's get you what you need. Learn more about AutoZone Rewards at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions and details in store.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Defending Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champ Martin Truex Jr. got back to his winning ways Sunday at Auto Club Speedway of Southern California, winning all 3 stages of the race and moving to the top spot in the overall standings. He said it just took a while for his team to get over the hump.
Just without all the people involved, we wouldn't be able to do it. It takes so much. So I'm just glad we're able to come back here this season and start off strong and consistent and put ourselves in the conversation. And hopefully we'll be able to take advantage of some more along the way.
Cup and truck teams return to action this weekend at Martinsville Speedway, and Truex will be a guest on NASCAR Live Tuesday night at 7 Eastern Time. We've got much more at MRN.com. I'm Woody Kane. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
All right, Woody. And, with Martin Truex getting the victory at Fontana.
Injuring now, 5 people, killing 1?
Okay. Alex, you're too soon.
What are you going to do about the wildfire?
You can come on later, Alex. That way you can spew your information out there in your info wars that you got. But it is Sports Talk with Sam Jordan here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Glad to have you along wherever you may be. And Martin Truex, as I said, got his first victory of the year and the first at Fontana. And it's his 16th win of his career in the Monster Energy Series. He got quite a few victories last year. And, the one thing about his effort on Sunday, he started on the pole. He won the 2 stages and got the victory, leading 125 of the 200 laps at Auto Club Speedway. They're in Fontana, California. One of the things that probably one individual driver is probably doing is scratching his head, and that's Jimmy Johnson. He is still trying to find a way to get back into the winning ways of being in the top echelon of NASCAR. So Johnson really struggling this year. And Lowe's making their announcement last week that they're no longer going to be a sponsor after this season. Just keeps adding a little bit of fuel to the fire. One thing I am proud to announce is this here. We're going to be having a contest where we're going to be giving away tickets.
They karmically don't get destroyed by what they did to us, because if they tell
at Talladega coming up April 27th, 28th, and 29th. That will be in Talladega, Alabama. So we're getting that all together. We have acquired the tickets and everything, and we're going to put together a nice
maniacs like Brian Stelter and all of them.
Nice little promotion to wear.
Ones they are, because everybody understands.
I'm hoping that someone's having fun and laughing their rear end off, because I'm not. All right. So anyway, we are going to be having that promotion where we'll have overnight accommodations. We'll also have some restaurant included in this promotion, and we'll have more details that we'll let you know about here as we get a little bit closer into promoting this fantastic promotion, where you can win tickets to Talladega with the Geico 500 coming up April 27th, 28th, and 29th at Talladega Motor Speedway through our friends at Talladega Motor Speedway and MRN, and, of course, your friends here at Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, 95.3 FM HD4. All right, if you've got a question, you want to talk sports, whether it be balls or wheels or whatever, you can always give us a call at 423-800-8949, 423-800-8949. And we are more than glad to take your questions or comments and call in. Lines are open. And has your bracket been busted yet? We'll talk about that here in the second half hour of tonight's program. NBA still going on. NHL getting into playoff mode here real soon. NFL making some really a lot of noise in the form of free agent signings. People are jockeying for positions in the NFL draft. Cleveland Browns, they hold the best spot out of everybody. But it seems like the New York Jets want to make some noise. They want to go for a franchise quarterback per se, whether or not they find one or not. I don't think that this class has got a lot of outstanding quarterbacks. I mean, yeah, there's probably 3 or 4 that are out there, but teams are in real need of a quarterback. I mean, a lot of teams are in need of a quarterback, but I think this is a little bit more of a non-quarterback position draft.
China and citizens with bad social
that are going to make some noise. I think the running backs, there's wide receivers, and then of course the defense, I think, has got a very defensive laden draft core of individual athletes that are out there that will probably make some noise. Keon, I'm sure, has talked about this here in the past week as the free agent market has opened up. And The one thing I'm really surprised about, and maybe Keon has talked about this on the Clutch with Keon Rose, heard weeknights from 8 to 9, is who's going to take Ndamukong Suh from the Dolphins. He formerly played at Detroit and is a free agent now. There was speculation that the Dallas Cowboys or the Oakland Raiders were going to jump into that mix, and I could really see either one of those two teams taking a player like Ndamukong Suh to really shore up their defense. I mean, he's very tall, very intimidating, and is really good at what he does. Whether they want the drama that comes with a player like Ndamukong Suh, most teams are probably going to shy away from that. But it will be interesting to see what happens in the stakes for Ndamukong Suh. Oh, you're going to chime in. I knew you couldn't resist. Folks, my good friend Keon Rose.
You know I can't. I hear NFL, I come running. It's in my blood at this point.
I mean, are you surprised that no one has picked up on Ndamukong Suh?
I'm a little surprised, yeah. I mean, when you look at the Dolphins, he is the best thing that they had going for them.
It was,
yeah. He was for the last couple of seasons. And the thing is, you wouldn't have to pay him a ton of money because he is still being paid from Miami since they released him. So you would, possibly have to pay him significantly less than you would have if he had been, if he had been coming off the end of a contract.
Now, you don't see him possibly maybe reuniting with his old coach in Detroit in Philadelphia because Jim Schwartz was his coach.
He could. And it looks like the Eagles are all about just beefing up their D-line beyond all possible recognition. I mean, they don't just want to beat the NFC East now. They want to squash everybody else in the division because they seem to be trading for every defensive line and inside linebacker in sight. So yeah, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be the case. It would suit him. He wouldn't have to do all the work. It wouldn't be one of those situations. And there are plenty of big name quarterbacks to knock around in Dak Prescott and Alex Smith and Eli Manning. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what he loves. I don't see why that couldn't happen.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw over the weekend, and I don't remember what team picked him up, but LeGarrette Blount has went to another team.
I did miss that over the week. I was so drowning in college basketball that I did miss some of it. I mean, I watched so much basketball. But yeah, I think that's interesting. But at the same time, I believe the Eagles still have Jay Ajayi.
Oh yeah.
And so it's not necessarily a need that they have to have LeGarrette Blount. And he's also not a big yards per carry kind of guy.
No.
He's more of that sledgehammer for 4th and 1 goal line
He's
stuff.
more of a fullback than he is a running back.
In a lot of ways, yes.
Yeah. Any big name free agents that you're surprised that we haven't seen been picked up? I mean, other than Suh?
Not really. I was surprised that Michael Crabtree was out as long as he was, but I believe the Ravens picked him up.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually
a
really good pickup.
Move.
Yeah, I think that's a good smart one for them. But outside of that one, before it happened, not particularly. I think Ndamukong Suh is the one that's outstanding. That to me is just a head scratcher.
I was looking on Google. I think it was Sunday. Because I was in the midst of working in my studio that I'm putting together there at the house. And I was taking a little break, and it was like, I was looking through a news report stating about all the different teams that have made moves and everything. And there was comments about some of the teams that didn't, one of which was my Cowboys that hasn't made a move yet. I mean, any free agent signing.
Which is surprising.
Right. And because Jerry Jones, you got to love him in certain ways. His pride is more than anything. He wants to make sure that he's got the best product out on the field. He's got good characters for him on and off the field, but they haven't made a move yet. And it's like, I'm even scratching my head why they haven't went after Suh as soon as he became available. Maybe they're thinking they can get him at a better price the longer they let him hold out. But that's a crapshoot.
That is a crapshoot. There's a number of teams that I think could stand to use Ndamukong Suh's services for sure. the thing that surprises me about the Cowboys is actually how much control that they've been increasingly taking away from Jerry over the years. I think that this actually would be the quintessential Jerry Jones move.
Yeah.
I also think that they're not, for whatever reason, he is being restricted from making this move. I think 5 years ago, Ndamukong Suh was a Cowboy yesterday.
Yeah.
I think he's not right now, and I don't think that that's necessarily a Jerry Jones decision.
But do you think maybe Jason Garrett is getting a little bit more control as far as what he wants to have?
I think so, because as I mentioned before, like they have been taking away Jerry Jones's ability to just sort of go out there and do whatever he wants. And as that's been scaling back, the Cowboys have looked like a more consistent football team. Having guys like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott on the team absolutely help. And I also think that that's probably why the Cowboys feel like they're not in a rush to do anything, is they feel like, if we had Ezekiel Elliott for a whole season, how much do the Eagles win by in our division, really? I think that they think they're already a good football team.
Now, the Cowboys have lost a few to free agency and everything, and they've signed elsewhere. I mean, there's still others that are free agents that haven't found the deal that they're looking for. But one other team that I'm kind of surprised about, maybe we can talk about here in the next break, is the Falcons. They've been rather quiet.
Yeah, which that to me is surprising, because whereas I think that the Cowboys have legitimate reason to say we're a good football team, we were just missing a key piece last year, Atlanta isn't.
All right, we'll talk about that after the break here on Nooga Radio. Stay tuned.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
2 electricians fried at the nuke plant. The TVA is investigating an incident from Friday at the Sequoia nuclear plant in Saudi Daisy. The 2 injured contractors were apparently hurt when an electrical transformer flashed with light and heat energy. The public was never in any danger. Gunfire in Chattanooga as the Chattanooga Police Department confirms a victim arrived at the hospital wounded by a bullet. Cops say the 30-year-old will survive. Officers scoured the area of East 49th Street. So far, the gunman is still on the loose. Cleveland police have identified the man who was found dead by a ditch. He's been identified as Jeffrey Donovan. Dispatch received a call around 10:30 a.m. that a man had been discovered near 6th Street Southeast. Police believe Donovan crashed his motorcycle into a utility pole and then into rocks at the bottom of a ditch, killing him. Val St. John for Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 News Now.
Traffic, news, and information. Nooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
Expect fair to partly cloudy skies to continue through your nighttime. Cold overnight, lows mid and upper 20s. Now for your Wednesday, look for some sunshine with a breeze out of the north, though. Light cold, highs up around 40 with more mainly dry and cold weather expected through Friday. Celebrate the new year with Dixieland Fireworks, locally owned with the largest selection around. A Black Hat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks, just off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm Storm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Pat Rapport.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.
They're all under $10,000.
$10,000.
That's right. Powerful V8 Hemi cars under $10,000 at Southern Fleet Sales in East Ridge. But you got to get there now for the best selection. These are retired cop cars. And man, are they fast. You want to look really cool. You want a fast car for under 10 grand? Then get to Southern Fleet Sales in East Ridge. That's not just a V8. It's a V8 Hemi cop car. SouthernFleetSales.com. 3900 Ringgold Road, East Ridge. Oh, man, rush. I've got to get stuff for the party. Where can I go that's going to give me a wide selection of beer, wines, and spirits? Oh, I got it. I'll go to Harry's Wine and Spirits, Signal Mountain. Maybe East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd. I could go to Riley's Wines and Spirits in Hickson. Wow, look at the huge selection in here. Look at these great prices. Amazing. Oh, yeah, I'm going to find something for my lady, too. I'm going to make this party a success.
Make your party a success when you stop in at Harry's Wine and Spirits in Signal Mountain, East Brainerd Wine and Spirits in East Brainerd, and Riley's Wine and Spirits in Hickson.
Mom's Furniture. Her boxes of paperback romances. Mom's Estate. Oh, call Dan. Dan will help you get on with your life. Let Dan clear the old house. Take care of everything. He'll hand you a nice check. 314-4034. Dan, the cleanup man. 314-4034. In this moment, who has your back?
Do you know the name of your insurance agent? Does your agent know your name? Or would you call a 1-800 number that connects you with whom? Another state? Another country? Get a local independent insurance agent with Auto Owners Insurance. Someone you can call when bad stuff happens. In this moment, get an agent who will protect you in that moment. Let Goss Insurance in Chattanooga help you today. GossInsurance.wordpress.com. Goss, representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. GossInsurance.com. Goss. GossInsurance.com. Representing Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. 875-2500. 875-2500.
Your car is broken or about to be, so the problem is, who do you trust? I wouldn't go any farther than Christian Brothers Automotive in Higson. Come in today and take advantage of the new special. It's an oil change with synthetic oil. At $39, that's a steal. Synthetic oil makes your car or truck last longer. Some restrictions apply. At Christian Brothers, a great shop with a 2-year or 24,000-mile warranty. You decide. Free shuttle service, Class A mechanics. Local owner, nice difference. A synthetic oil change, $39. Wow.
Nooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM and 95.3 HD4. News Talk Nooga Radio.
It's the moment you've been waiting for.
Sam Jordan's Nooga Radio, 92.7 Sports. Now.
Welcome back to the second half of my show. Don't forget, coming up at 8 o'clock, we've got this young man right here next to me. It's Mr. Keon Rose with the Clutch. And he will be entertaining you for an hour, coming up in less than a half hour. Now, we were talking about the NFL, and I know we're going to get talking about the NCAA tournament. That's predictable.
Right. I mean,
but are you surprised that Atlanta, the Falcons, hasn't made more noise? And another team to even talk about is Tennessee. Tennessee's made a few signings, not big announcements or anything like that, but they've filled in some holes that they need, and they probably still have a lot of needs that they're looking at for the draft. Do you think that curtails a lot of teams from not really diving into the free agent market as much, or do you feel like that teams don't really want to wait that long to see a college athlete going into the NFL making that quick transition and going for the quick fix with free agents?
Well, I think with that, I think there are teams that there are pros and cons, right? Like, you can draft a player and he may take longer to develop, but he will be your player. He will know your system. He'll play with your plays and he'll understand that, and he won't have to, unlearn a bunch of verbiage from another team. I think you do have to sort of mix and match it. I think that that's where the challenge is, and the good GMs know how to do that. I think with Atlanta staying pat, I'm guessing that Atlanta feels like they have a good team. I saw a team last year that had good players but didn't play well. And you would think that free agency would provide some kind of shot in the arm for a team like that, but they didn't do anything. I think that the best move that they could probably make would be to move on from Steve Sarkisian, which is not a personnel move, but just not being able to get
different philosophy.
Right.
Yeah.
I do see that the problem isn't probably necessarily the players. From the Super Bowl team, the team that lost in the Super Bowl, to last year, personnel wise, those aren't two drastically different teams. And yet one team is clearly worse than the other team.
Here's a good comparison. Maybe that pro team that you're referring to was more like UT football, where they just kind of flipped the switch. Like, we're not going to be playing. I mean, to win, especially for Coach Jones.
I mean, I don't know, because they did win a lot of games and they made it to the playoffs. It's not like they didn't win.
Made some effort.
Yeah. It's just they didn't put up the numbers that they put up previously. I think it's a play calling thing. I really do. I don't know if the teams quit. I do think that it's a play calling, decision making problem that they have, and maybe free agency can't fix that, right? Like, maybe free agency can't bring new blood in to just sort of infuse that with an invigorated locker room. But something is wrong with that football team because it should not have looked as anemic as it did. They just barely escaped a lot of games.
Yeah.
And I understand that division's tough, but
not that bad.
They looked bad.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I wonder, because I've followed the Pittsburgh Steelers for so long, whether sometimes there's a little mutiny on the bounty and stuff at times.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening with Atlanta, but also I don't know.
But why is the Falcons so quiet right now?
I'm guessing that the draft is where they're focused on, and that's my guess. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and assume that the draft is what it is that they're looking forward to. They have in the past gotten really, great players in the draft. Obviously, Julio Jones is a player they drafted.
Right.
Vic Beasley on the defensive side of the ball is a player that they drafted. Matt Ryan is a homegrown talent.
Right.
So, I mean, Atlanta's a team that has done very well with homegrown talent. It's very possible that you just wait till the draft and just find more guys that you like.
Okay, well, that's fair. All right, let's switch gears. NCAA tournament Friday night was an interesting night.
Here's the rule of the NCAA tournament. If you are a good team, you're losing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically it. I mean, we had Cincinnati go down. Virginia went down in that 16-1 matchup that caught everybody off guard. You just had so many big names. What was it? Villanova. Xavier went down. Villanova's still in. Xavier went down
yesterday.
I mean, a number of high-quality basketball teams went down so far earlier in this tournament than most of us expected.
Anybody that I have dealings with has pretty much got a busted bracket. If anybody does not have a busted bracket, they are busted, and they are the biggest liar around.
Yeah,
it could be. Yeah, it could be.
Well, ESPN tracks all of this stuff data-wise, and most brackets got busted when Virginia went down. Unbelievably for me, it was not Virginia that busted my bracket. It was Tennessee losing to Loyola Chicago.
Yeah,
that wrecked me.
What was that about?
The power of prayer. I mean, Sister Jean is the super fan and current mascot of Loyola Chicago. She's the school chaplain, and she's 98 years old. And she seems to
played well, though.
They did, but not.
I mean, the fourth quarter. Well, actually, middle of the third quarter the early part of the second half. It was kind of an up and down tizzy where they were trading leads and everything. But in what would technically be like the fourth quarter, down to crunch time, it was like they just open up the floodgates, and it's like, okay, we're going to win this.
Well, we saw that with a lot of teams. We saw that with a lot of them, that the leads don't seem to hold up. I forget who it is that lost to Nevada. I know it was Cincinnati that lost to Nevada. 22-point lead with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? I mean, they just fell apart, entirely crumbled. There are two brothers on that Nevada team, by the way, that just bomb threes, man. And if you go under screens against those guys, you're not coming out a winner.
Well, I think what hurt Tennessee, though, was, they've been known for hitting threes. They just dried up toward the latter part of the second half.
Yeah. And so here's what we're seeing, right? Because college basketball in particular has been shifting towards, though the NBA a little bit too, shifting towards shooting more threes. But it's the thing that I think old school basketball players have always known about 3-point shots. You live by the three and you die by the three.
Oh, big time.
And when it didn't hit for Tennessee, that was it. And Loyola Chicago doesn't necessarily rely on 3-point shooting. They got them.
I was watching the Rhode Island game a little bit on Saturday. They were playing, who was it? Oh, I can't remember. But it was Rhode Island, Kentucky, I think is who they were playing. Yeah, because both teams were blue and white. Anyway, I'm watching the game there on CBS on News 12. And it's like Rhode Island was just popping them like from 4-point range. I mean, literally, they were near midcourt when they were popping them. And it's like, that's what got Rhode Island back into the contest. That was a game being played, I think, in Detroit.
I believe Rhode Island was against Duke, actually.
Or Duke. All right. Yeah. Thank you. And Rhode Island, I think Duke won.
Duke did win, yes.
But Rhode Island that was the only way they were staying in the game, was hitting those huge, deep 3-pointers. And it's like, I think that a lot of the players are looking at the fact beyond college. They're looking beyond college before they're out of college, because if you can't shoot from the distance, because the NBA's actually talked about having a 4-point line.
Yeah.
And it's like these guys from, Rhode Island there, I'm trying to think of the name of the town right outside of Providence, where Rhode Island University is. They were popping them deep, and it's like unbelievable. But
it's something I'd like to refer to as the Steph Currification of basketball. All these kids love him.
True.
They love him, and they want to play like him. It's a fun way to play basketball, and you don't need to be 6'8", 230 pounds to shoot a three. Right. Anybody can shoot a three if you practice it enough, and everybody does now. Everybody.
In my era, it was the Michael Jordan thing. Now it's Steph Curry in this generation. So, it's understandable. But then another player you can consider from my generation, Larry Bird, if you were tall,
Yeah.
But the Michael Jordan effect, you had Magic Johnson and stuff. I mean, we had some good, I won't say idols, but role models in the world of sports that, we looked up to and everything. And, LeBron is kind of bridging that gap.
Yeah, LeBron James is kind of bridging the gap, but LeBron James is 6'8", 235 pounds.
Right.
Where Steph Curry, Steph's not small, but he looks small compared to everybody else. And he's a guy that he just shoots so well, but he's not the only one. Damian Lillard, James Harden, these are all guys that live by 3-point shooting, and they're so good at it. And it's so exciting to watch them play. You're a kid growing up. That's what you want to play like. And then they're going to college now, and they're all shooting the ball from deep.
Yeah. They're emulating all these NBA players. And it's like, I don't know if athletes on the NBA level or even the NFL or the, Major League Baseball or whatever league sport it is, whether these players truly know that they're having this effect on all these younger generations that are out there.
I think they have to have some idea. Because they were kids once,
right.
And so you're trying to emulate your idols. I know you got a guy in Toronto, and DeMar DeRozan, who when he plays, he is a dead ringer sometimes for Kobe Bryant. The way he kicks out the leg when he shoots, everything, all the moves, they're Kobe's moves.
Yeah.
And Kobe's moves are Michael Jordan's moves.
Right.
So some of it is just still continuing. I think they have to know.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see how the NCAA tournament goes. Now, you, like me, our brackets are busted. Who are you looking at now as possible contenders for the Final Four?
Just absolutely roasted. Okay, so team that surprised me, but shouldn't have probably. Clemson's been playing really, really well. That's a team that could probably make a run, make some noise. They beat up on Auburn. They really beat up on Auburn. I think it was a 20-point beatdown that happened there. It wasn't even close.
A beatdown, okay.
Yeah, just absolutely worked them. So that's one to me that I think is really interesting. Who is it that beat North Carolina? Was it Texas A&M?
Yes,
beat North Carolina. Texas A&M, which I like them a lot. I didn't like them more than I liked North Carolina. And Roy Williams. Man, when the last 5 minutes, the camera focused on him in the huddle, and I've never seen Roy Williams look lost. He looked lost. He didn't have any answers. And Texas A&M, I think, is a team that could surprise. And it's a Sweet 16 representation for the SEC.
The biggest upset, though, I saw on Friday night wasn't the Virginia UMBC game.
It wasn't?
No, it was my Bucknell Bison losing. I thought we were going to see more fights come out of that contest as we got close. I'm surprised that they only lost by 7 points.
Yes. That was a surprising game.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't say that was more surprising than the Virginia UMBC one.
You got to understand, being a Pennsylvania boy, and I used to work at the school and everything. It's like, you hate to see your Bison or even my Nittany Lions, believe it or not, are doing well in the NIT. They won the championship, I think, in 2000 was the last time. They're actually on a roll right now, where they could possibly do it again. And it's like, one of these days I want to see my Nittany Lions in the NCAA tournament.
Well,
whether how far they go or not, to be determined. My Razorbacks are done.
Yeah, which, that one actually did ruin me a little bit. I had them in the Elite Eight. I really liked them when I watched them play. And I listen in on the SEC teleconference for the media sometimes. And I really liked their coach a lot. So I thought, well, I think Arkansas could make a run. And boy, that fell apart awfully quickly.
Yeah.
But
first round.
Man, the UMBC Virginia thing really just caught me off guard. Virginia was 4 of 22 from 3. And UMBC, here's an interesting thing about UMBC. They played Albany earlier in the year, and Albany beat them by 44 points.
Wow.
So to me, you look at their schedule, there's no way you look at this team and you go, they're the ones beating Virginia. But they beat Virginia at their own game.
Yeah. The thing about UMBC, folks, is if you ever go to Baltimore, you'll find the campus, and it reminds you of UTC. Right here in Chattanooga, downtown, entrenched, and it's like it is really definitely no different than UTC the way that it's laid out, and it's like small. Size wise, it is a very small school for being a D1 and being situated. The campus is not that big. Their arena downtown, they share it with I forget who with, but it's like. I think we actually have a lot more to offer than what UMBC
has. Well, that explains a lot because we've seen UTC in the tournament a whole lot more than we've seen UMBC there.
Well, that's true.
So that makes sense.
But we've seen a lot of 16 seeds lose to number ones until UMBC.
135 times, in fact. Yeah.
That is just mind-blowing.
I guess you have to imagine it was going to happen eventually. I'm just saying, if I had to pick which one it would be, that wasn't the one I would have picked.
Yeah.
UMBC seemed like they would have been outclassed, right? And I said on my show last week, I thought Virginia had the toughest road to the final. I didn't realize that the toughest road included the Yeah, I didn't realize that UMBC was what was the tough road there. Yeah,
you picked that one.
Yeah. So that one got me.
But so what are we going to be talking about tonight on the Clutch?
We will be talking about the NCAA tournament. Okay. I do have some more thoughts on that, and then the Jets and what they're doing in NFL free agency.
Jets and the Colts are
trying to jump up and get some franchise quarterbacks here.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think there's only about 3 or 4 that are actually very good. Baker Mayfield, the kid down here at Georgia, and that's Darnold. It's at Georgia, right?
No, Darnold is from USC.
USC, okay.
Southern Cal.
Who's the one down here at Georgia?
Jake Fromm, he's going to have to be in college another year.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was maybe it was Alabama. There's one of the southern schools down here that are near us that's in the SEC that actually is I don't know all of my quarterbacks and everything in the SEC, but there's like 4 real quarterbacks across the country that have got any sort of a chance in going in the first round. But the Colts and the Jets, they're like
the Louisville has Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
that would be one of the close ones. It's not the SEC, but in the ACC in South Carolina. Yeah.
But it's like, what are the Colts and the Jets drinking? What water is it?
Well, I know what the Jets are trying to do. The Jets are just trying to get anybody who can play quarterback. The amount of money that they offered Kirk Cousins, the reason why Kirk Cousins was able to get that fully guaranteed deal from Minnesota is because the Jets offered it first. It's just that nobody wants to play for the Jets because they're terrible.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to end their career trying to, quarterback this struggling team. But the Jets are desperate for a quarterback. Yeah. Absolutely desperate. And they're not going to waste any time trying to find one.
I think the landfill of the NFL resides in East Rutherford with the Jets and down in Tampa Bay.
I can see that. Tampa Bay is surprising. You would think that they would be better. They have the talent. I know that Jameis Winston isn't, the most consistent quarterback, but he does have talent. I just don't understand why that team is as bad. They've got Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are as terrible as they are.
And then, I'm surprised that we're not hearing more coming out of Houston because they're looking for another quarterback. I mean, even though they've had a couple come through.
Yeah, they had Deshaun Watson last year, and he was playing well before he got hurt. So, I don't know, unless they're suspecting that he's not going to come back the same. Or, if he gets hurt again, they might need a backup because they were looks like they were going to be on pace to win that division. Deshaun Watson gets injured, and then crickets at quarterback.
What I am kind of surprised about is Bill O'Brien, the head coach at Houston, hasn't reached out to Christian Hackenberg because Hackenberg was the QB for O'Brien at Penn State.
This is true. Does nobody believe in Christian Hackenberg as a pro quarterback? Because you would have thought that in New York, he would have gotten a shot if he could play, and you actually thought he might be able to win.
I don't think he was that great when he was at Penn State.
Well, nobody did. He had one good year, and he kind of rode it into the NFL.
Right.
Which, do what you got to do to get paid, but I don't think that anybody actually thinks that Christian Hackenberg is good.
He would be a great backup for sure. I don't think he is as good as Garoppolo, and Garoppolo is getting a huge opportunity in San Francisco.
He's been good as a starter too.
Yeah, but Hackenberg, I mean, he's been in Oakland, he's been in the Jets. It's like the only other team that hasn't taken him out there would be in the Browns, and I think the Browns are pretty content with what they've got.
Yeah, the Browns are like, look, we've already seen bad quarterbacks. We want somebody who's at least decent. I think
Tyrod Taylor is going to just tear it up in Cleveland. I mean, he is one of these fly by the seat of your pants, makes things happen kind of a quarterback. And I think that's going to reinvigorate the fan base in Cleveland.
I'm not the biggest Tyrod guy, but I will say he's solid. I think that I think he can do some things for Cleveland that no other quarterback that they've had has been able to do.
But the one thing I'm surprised about is Minnesota hasn't gotten anything for Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater, or Sam Bradford. I think they're all three gone now.
Yeah.
So, Hey, the Clutch is coming up next with Keon Rose. Make sure you tune in for that. Phone lines are open at 800-8949. That's 423-800-8949. Until we talk again tomorrow, have a great evening. CBS World and National News coming up, then the Clutch here on Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM.